Welcome to Love, Dating, and Chaos with Philicity. If you've never listened to an episode before, this whole podcast is about love, dating, and the chaos that ensues within it. Not just within my life, but within other people's lives as well. I'm trying to find a way to figure out, where am I going wrong? Where should I be looking? What should I be doing? What are people looking for? I'm part of a WhatsApp group. Who isn't? Oh, that's a whole other podcast. And so I thought to myself, you know what? I'm going to throw it out there. I'm going to do like a case study and get people that I don't actually know that well to talk to me about love and dating and, you know, the myriad of trials we go through. And luckily for me, Geordie and Nirin reached out and came to chat to me about their experiences within the dating world. Of course, I need to get a guy's perspective as well here, okay? Because it's not fair if it's just the women ganging up on the guys. We need to figure out maybe we as girls are doing something wrong. Anyway, let's see. Before I had my last boyfriend, which was like when the earth was cooling, I was single for 11 years.
11 years?
That's correct.
Yeah, no.
And when I say single, I mean like single.
That's like life-changing single.
Yes, like a nun single.
Like reboot.
Like literally reboot. Like
this is an old t-shirt.
Basically.
But why so long? Why 11 years?
Because
Kids growing up. Biggest issue with dating. I was widowed when my kids were still young.
Okay.
I was widowed 17 years ago. You say you're old, I'm older.
You're not old.
Proudly 50. Kids are all grown up now.
Yeah.
But dating with kids and the men, you know, you're giving your children attention and I want that attention. It's very difficult. I mean,
Yeah.
You know, try and raise your children and then try and still pander to some man or person's ego. It's very difficult.
Yeah.
And my kids always come first.
Yeah.
Always. And now it's mommy's time. Yeah,
See, it is mommy's time, but I must admit, I found that within the process of being single for so long and I suppose being both the mom and the dad in the house and running everything, I've become super independent.
And selfish of your time.
And stop calling me out on my nonsense.
Because I'm finishing your book because I'm there. I've done that.
No, I think if you're 100% on your own all the time, your quality of life is different.
Yes.
So when you're looking for a partner, you're not looking for any bullshit.
Yeah.
You can say.
No, of course we can. Like, I don't want the baggage and I don't want you to eat the food out of my fridge.
Yeah.
Why are you eating the food out of my fridge, though?
Don't drink my alcohol.
Thank
Bring your
you.
own.
It's like mine. And you should have asked. And no, we can't change the channel. It's
Yeah.
weird. Go to your house.
I think the thing is that you become set in your ways.
Yeah.
I've dated guys that have never been married, never had children, and you kind of look at it and you go, you know, yes, it's a preferred way of life for some people. They don't want to get married. They don't want kids. But my life includes children, which will then eventually one day include grandchildren. There needs to be space for that to happen. And you meet someone who hasn't been married and you look at it and you go, you're very set in your ways and there's no room for compromise.
Yeah.
There's no meeting halfway.
Yeah.
Between when my husband passed away, I was obviously, about 2.5 years I was single. Didn't date. I felt like I was cheating on my husband if a man looked at me.
Of course.
And then started dating and ended up getting remarried.
Oh.
Bad move. Dated drug addict. So I was married for 3 years. And
Didn't you know? I'm assuming you didn't know.
I didn't know before we got married. I found out afterwards.
Oh, wow.
Jumped that ship very quickly because obviously it affected my children. My children were still young at the
Yeah.
time, so I didn't need that around them. And since then, I give it a little bit of a reboot, and then I don't think I was designed. I wasn't designed to be single.
I find the whole dating scene quite funny.
Yes.
Because, I mean, if we had to look at that social media trend that happened where women had to choose between a man and a bear.
Oh,
and,
yes.
And most of the women chose a
bear.
bear.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, alarm bells went off in my head and I'm like, guys, the woman chose the bear.
Sorry, I didn't see that trend.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah,
like 90% of the ladies chose a bear.
Chose the bear.
Because they don't trust men. So for me, as a man, I think that men have a lot of work to do on themselves.
Listen, I think
before we can actually start dating.
Yeah.
I hear that, but I feel like you're talking from a place where you've worked on yourself, but you're still single 2-3 years later. So what do you think? Is that by choice? Is it just the way that it is? What are you looking for?
Peace.
Right.
Peace. Right? Doesn't matter what is happening in your life, whether you are strong and independent. The most important thing is when you come home, you want peace. When you go out on a date, you just gotta be peaceful. Like, there's so much of confusion as to now who should pay the bill. Is it 50-50? Is chivalry a thing? Men are confused about chivalry because
why?
we're like, should we do it?
Yes, you should.
Do it? Because we're afraid to approach women in certain manners, because sometimes approaching a lady can be looked as being a predator.
Got you.
Right.
Got
so
you.
now we confuse between when and how. So the signal that comes from the female needs to be a little bit more cemented so that we can understand what the signal is. Because, sometimes we don't. So we won't just approach the lady. And it seems so complicated, but it's coming more from a place of respect.
No, I get that. You know what my thing though is like people. So firstly, I'm going to reverse this a little bit. Where you say peace. I've heard this so often from men go, I don't want drama. No drama. I just want peace. What does that in practical terms look like? Because for me, if we're together and I've had a terrible day and you come home, then no, I'm not going to be your refuge of peace because I have had a terrible day.
Yes.
And I need you to hold me.
Yes.
So I need you to be the 80% in our 50% relationship or 100% relationship.
Yeah.
I need you to take 80% of the emotional baggage right now because I can't.
Yeah.
I don't
need
have
to
anything
break
to
down.
give. Yeah. Obviously, when you come home and you've had a terrible day, yes, and I'm good. I want to be your peace and I will take the 80% and you can hold the 20% and that's fine. But this whole thing of, I don't want any drama, I just want peace. Like, it sounds to me like in my head, like men think that women are crazy banshees who just spend their days plotting drama and chaos. And trust and believe, for me personally, my life is so busy with everything else that the reason why I don't date is because the thought makes me feel like it would be a disruption in my peace.
100%, yeah. I understand what you're saying. Like, from my perspective, it would be men have been taught for a long time not to process and express their emotions, right?
Yeah.
So if you get home and your man is not someone who has learned to deal with his emotions, how does he take yours? So
Not very well, apparently.
Not very well. You have to find someone that knows how to deal with his own emotions before he can deal with yours.
Absolutely.
Because then it's going to be a lot of drama.
Well, then we'd be dating a 16-year-old that we've raised.
But that's what I'm saying.
Because men of our generation,
Oh.
we're all raised to boys don't cry, the reaction. I mean, where I am at the moment, it's like a brick wall.
So
with emotions
I cry.
dealing.
I'll watch
Oh, no,
Netflix
geez,
and
I
cry.
can believe that you cry. You sound different to me, though, and I'm not saying this because I'm trying to blow smoke up your ass, but you do sound different to me in the fact that you do sound like you're a little bit more self-aware. What I'm saying, though, is there's this...
Be straight, yeah?
There's this... So I've got a group of girlfriends, and a lot of us are single, and so we talk, and a lot of the talk is, we need to go younger.
I've done that.
We need to go to like the 30s.
No, I've done 10 years younger.
Yeah, we need to go younger than 10 years younger. Because
So-
possibly they have now learned the things that the men of our age have not learned.
No, I think unfortunately, the younger you go, then, I've finished raising my kids. I don't need to raise another one.
Yeah, but a 30-year-old you don't have to raise.
No, you do. I remember, if I go to a 30-year-old, that's 20 years younger than me now.
And?
Yeah, donkey.
Why?
Yeah, why not?
I've done the younger. He was a lovely man. We were together for 5 years. But he then got to a point where he wanted kids. And I'm done. There's nothing coming out of this body. I had my kids in my 20s. I raised my children. I grew up with them. Axe clear. I'm 50. My kids are all grown up. They're all in their 20s. I'm done.
Okay,
I don't want to raise another child. And I'm not talking about having another child. I can't physically. But having a 30-year-old, my son's 28.
I hear you.
It'd just be a bit weird for me.
Would it though?
No, it would. No, it would.
I'm just, throwing things out there.
No, it would.
No, look, I get it. I did have someone say to me the other day, so would you be open to having more babies? And I went, excuse me, what?
Ew.
No.
Grandbabies,
Why
yes.
would I have more children? Because like you, I had my kids in my 20s. My kids are now 21, 19. They're independent. They still need me, but they're a lot more independent. And I'm not needed as...
They can cook their own food and they can drive themselves where they want to go. Mom's taxi isn't required.
Thank you. And then they mentioned that they had younger children, and I'm not going to... gave me a little bit of the ick. I was like...
No, because you've been through it and you're done with it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I was in school with guys that I've got like 1 and 2 and 3-year-olds, and they're my age. And I'm like...
Yeah, over my dead
I
body.
can't.
Do you know what I think? I think it is story time. Here's another, should we say, interesting story from Felicity's love life. Enjoy! I'm swiping left and right, and I come across this profile of this man, and I find him very handsome. And to be very honest with you, I don't know if everybody would find him very handsome, but there's something about him. He looks very arty. He looks interesting. Says he's an architect. I love people in the arts. Okay, I'm a sucker for people in the arts. I'm a sucker for people who are quirky and different and just like live their own life. And so I swipe right and he swipes right and we start chatting. And it's just, I cannot explain to you. It's a Sunday of all days. And we start chatting on the Sunday and we just don't stop. It's real and it's honest and the conversations are sincere and authentic, and he's got 3 kids and I've got 2 kids. But it's not about the kids necessarily. It's like we're talking about us and we're talking about, you know, what kind of people we are and what kind of things we enjoy. And it's really, really lovely. I felt very seen. And I said that to him. I was quite vulnerable. And I felt like he was being vulnerable with me as well, which I think the older you get, the harder it is for you to be vulnerable because you've already built up quite high walls, and so you're trying to kind of protect yourself the whole time. And so to be vulnerable, especially with someone you don't know, is a massive thing. So yeah, I was very vulnerable. Anyway, so he had these daughters, right, who lived overseas. I think I was just messaging him the one day and I was like, hey, how are you? And he was like, well, I'm not too good. And I said to him, well, what's wrong? And he's like, my middle daughter got into a fight with her other 2 daughters, and she hopped on a plane and is now in Cape Town airport. And I'm like, what do you mean hopped on a plane? Please note, I'm in Johannesburg, right? And he's like, no, she hopped on a plane and now she's stuck at Cape Town airport. I said, well, firstly, why did she fly to Cape Town when you were in Joburg? And he said to me, oh, I have a house in Cape Town. Didn't I tell you that? And I was immediately like, I don't know. That's not really the noise that was going off my head. It was more like, no, that's an ambulance noise. What is the siren noise when there's like when there's like a fire and shit's gonna happen? Like, yo, that noise went off of my head because I have spidey senses. So I was like, oh, that's awful. Why don't you just send her money? So Mr. Man says to me that he can't send her money, please note his own daughter, because he's got an international bank account. But he lives in Johannesburg and has lived here for 20 odd years. But he can't send her money, so she can't get an Uber. He doesn't have the Uber app. He can't download the Uber app. Don't ask me why. And then I got a bit spicy with him. I said to him, well, why don't you borrow money from friends and get them to send it to her? And he was like, no, I've asked around. Please note as well, this is a man apparently who's an architect, okay, who has architecturized, that's not a word, but just go with me here, architecturized a massive office block here in Midrand. So none of the people that he associates with have, I don't know, 300 Rand. That's how much he wanted, guys. 300 Rand to send to his daughter, who is 16, who flew out all by herself from, wait for it, Staten Island, not JFK, Staten Island, to the airport in Cape Town, but he lives in Johannesburg. Of course, he then waited a while, and I said to him, that's terrible. He then waited a while and said to me, can't you send it to me? And I said to him, oh, unfortunately, I can't. Why do you have so much time to lead me on? Because honestly, if he had been real, I would have been married by now, guys. Yeah, hey, scammer's gonna scam. Let's get back into the conversation. Oh. I'm assuming you both are on the dating scene and stuff and have gone on interesting dates with interesting people and had interesting... I'm going to use interesting in so many inverted brackets, it's not even funny.
Colourful. Creative dates.
Experiences. Care to share?
Well, the one that definitely stands out the most for me is, tried the whole online dating thing, met a couple of people. I've been in 2 very successful, my 10 years younger than me partner, I met on a dating site.
Oh.
And I was just before I turned 40. So, yeah, 10 years ago. And we were together for a long time. I met another guy on Tinder.
Oh.
We also very, very...
That never happens.
No. Yeah, well, every other Tinder date arrives and then keeps looking behind me and sort of talking with his eyes. And I'm like, what the hell are you doing, dude? And he had his daughter and his daughter's friend because they felt left out because he was going out, so he brought them with.
Oh, he brought everyone on the date.
So I kind of looked at him and I was like, okay, this is just next level. Yeah, no, but don't worry about it. You're really not. I'm like, no, dude, I'm out. I can't. He brought his daughter on a first date.
Okay, I don't understand though. So they could have dinner somewhere, or so they could watch him go on a date?
Yeah, no, watch him go. Because he obviously shared everything with his daughter.
I mean, that's kind of sweet, no?
No one will meet my children for the first 3 months.
No, but imagine if you went on first date and your son said to you, I want to come because I've got a feeling. I won't be involved, but I'll be there because he wants to protect you. Wouldn't you kind of feel
No, that's different. Okay,
he's
because
be in the background though.
Yeah, my son's 6'4". I'd be scared of my son. I wouldn't want to intimidate anyone that I potentially saw as a future partner. Message me and go, listen, I'm a bit stuck. My daughter's got nowhere to go. Do you mind? Maybe.
Got you.
But don't arrive and then act, and then suddenly because the kid's kind of, and I think she must have been in her 16, 17. So she wasn't a little child.
Okay, she wasn't. Okay, yeah. And she wasn't also like an adult child.
Not an adult child.
She was just a nosy teenager.
Yeah, a nosy teenager and a father who obviously can't say no. The first thing is that obviously the daughter rules the household, which is great. If that's how you want to parent your kid.
Yeah.
But you're not in my house.
I find like a traditional way of dating quite boring. So like if you go like on Tinder and then you meet up with someone, then like you can kind of gauge what questions are going to be asked, right? Okay, so where are you from?
What do you do?
What is your job?
Yeah,
do you like this?
The shopping list.
I get bored out of it, so I can't do it. So if I want to go on a date or if I see someone that I like, I would approach them and speak to them and see, all right, is it going to work?
Like in public?
So yeah, I do.
You are so brave. I love this. Carry on.
I'm not brave. Like on the inside, I'm dying. Okay, but my one story was, okay, so I went out with a couple of friends and I saw someone that I liked, and I gauged the signals, right? So she looked at me. There was a bit of eye contact. Okay, yes, go for it. I spoke to her, got a phone number. Everything was sorted. We had a good conversation. The next morning, at 8:30, I received a message. Yeah, about 8:30. Can you buy for me some chicken wings, please?
Excuse me?
This is the next day. I'm like, I didn't even take you out on one date, and now you want chicken wings.
Wow.
Like, seriously? Yeah.
Yeah, and I've heard that the airtime and how many guys I speak to, and I'm going, I've got my own house, my own job, I own my own business, I make my own money. I'm okay, I'm not a psycho. They are, unfortunately, and I think that's what's definitely created a very difficult environment out there for those of us that are looking to be in relationships, is because there are so many people out there that are just out for a scam, looking for a sugar daddy. It's...
You see, here's the thing. So I've had conversations with friends of mine about this as well. And so the statement was, some men are okay with transactional relationships, where in exchange for chicken wings, you will get X, Y, and Z. Whereas women are not okay with transactional relationships because they don't actually realize that they are in a transactional relationship. So it's often why I think older women get scammed on the love sites, because there's this whole concept of, but I love this person, so of course I'm going to give them 10,000 rand
because they're stuck on an oil rig in the middle of the ocean.
Sure.
So then that weird kind of old school mindset comes in of a case of, I expect the man to be a provider. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, that's
so for
the
me,
old way,
as soon as a man says to me, can you give me money for this? My hackles go up. I'm like, no. And it is very old school, but it's also because I'm like, if you can't take care of yourself, I can't take care of you. I'm already taking care of me and my children and my house and my dogs and my lovely helper and my blah, 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 blah. So I know that in a relationship there's, like you were saying earlier about, is chivalry dead? I don't believe chivalry is dead.
No.
I want someone to open the door for me. I like that.
I want the flowers. I want the love and the romance.
Thank
I'm
you.
still there, but it goes both ways. And unfortunately, for me, and we're within a similar age bracket, the guys that of my sort of dating age capacity, they have the chivalry. We go out for drinks or whatever. I always do say, can I offer?
Yeah, I offer.
I do offer, but I won't insist on it. But if the date's not going well, I'll go, we're splitting the bill.
Yes, or
that's
bring
almost like
me
a
the
sign.
bill. That's my other favorite thing. Bring
it's
me
a bit
the
of a
bill.
sign.
Yeah.
The element of what guys want. Guys go onto dating sites that they say they are close by, and then you find out, they live in KZN or in Cape Town. And you're like, what, are you just looking for a bit in the side when you're in Joburg? And I have experienced that. And I don't hear from the guy, and then 2 weeks later, I'm in Joburg, and then, then silence, I'm in Joburg, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not the one-stop hotel, pull in, and you can get what you need for the time you're here. For me, I am looking for and want to be in a relationship where someone is 100% invested in me as I should be in them. That, you talk about that 100-100, where life happens.
Yeah.
Whether it's family situations, deaths, whatnot. I want to know that you'll hold me up. And unfortunately, it hasn't happened much in the last couple of months with reality of life.
Look, I'm going to be honest with you. For a very long time, I think I was in a position where I was like, I want to be in a relationship and it's healthy and it's solid and whatever. Then I had my 45th birthday and I thought to myself, I really want to bang someone. So, and I was like, maybe what I really need to do is I just bang people, like a variety of people. Yeah. And then maybe through the banging, I will find the person.
Did it work?
I don't know. I haven't really started the process yet.
She's spoken about it.
But I put it out into the universe.
So I'm just going to tell you, no, it doesn't work.
Have you tried this process, the banging process?
Well, not to that extent of like a line of them, but, try and do the casual hookup. It doesn't work because it just leaves you feeling empty. There isn't, for me, it's an emotional connection. There has to be. I can't do that mindless, empty. I can't have an affair. Those are things that don't work for me.
No, absolutely.
And, so within yourself, if that's the kind of person that you are, you set your goal, I'm going to do this. You're going to try it once, you're going to hate it. And I'm just being honest now.
So we're basically looking for men that are emotionally engaged.
Yes.
That's basically what you guys are asking for.
Why do you make it sound so simple?
Because it sounds so simple.
Just because
right?
we've had this 40-minute long conversation and then one sentence and you're like
throw you up.
Yeah.
I have to ask you, what is your shopping list besides just peace? What is your do you have a shopping list?
A shopping list?
Yeah, like when you're looking for a partner, what are you looking for?
I prefer someone who's really good at communication.
Okay.
Right? And the reason for it is you're not going to be in agreement all the time with your partner. You're going to have disagreements about a lot of things. But I like to be able to speak about it and disagree about something and then still be able to have a partner.
Yes.
Yeah.
I disagree with you, but it's okay.
It doesn't need to be a full-blown fight. And unfortunately, a lot of people make that issue.
But what we found is when we went into lockdown and stuff, a lot of people got divorced because they couldn't stand each other.
Yes. And they finally realized.
And I found it so funny. Like you literally married for 10 years and you had to live with your wife only for a month or two and you guys got divorced. Yeah. So something's missing. Something is missing. So when I say a shopping list, I would say someone who can communicate and who is also can express their emotions, but separate the emotions and what's happening in their mind. Because when you come home, you can be so emotional, it's got nothing to do with anything.
Yeah.
Right?
So he's like the unicorn, I think.
No, seriously.
Because the shopping list that most men have is, I was told a while back that I wasn't curvy enough. He liked a woman with a bit of junk in her trunk. And I'm like, dude, that's probably the nicest compliment anyone's letdown I've ever had. No, genuinely. Someone told me I was too skinny. I'm like, I like you.
My shopping list is funny, okay? And number 2 would be, like, if you are on your cycle and you're very close to your cycle,
yes,
you shouldn't be ashamed to say, listen here.
Back off, Bobby.
Back off from me because I'm feeling emotional. I feel like stabbing someone. And
you.
The color of your car is irritating me. So then I'd be like, okay, cool, I'll come visit you next week. Yeah? Or I'll buy you, send you a hamper or cook feed.
You buy your chocolates, okay.
Something. I'll send you a hamper from afar and I'll see you next week, Like, these are my requirements. And people actually laugh at me. Like, it's a serious requirement. Because, like, we want to, like, most of the time women would say men are uneducated about a female. But we are uneducated because you don't speak about it.
Okay.
You need to speak up more.
Okay.
You need to speak up more.
Okay.
But not only in an emotional state.
Yeah.
Like when you're out of the emotional state, you say, okay, so this is what happened to me. and then this is why it's happened, and then the man will understand.
But see,
Right?
with men, we've got to draw with crayons.
Yeah.
I know this sounds really weird.
Depends on the man. It depends
No,
on the man.
yeah, see, again, goes to the element of what their expectations are and what ours are.
Yeah.
I mean, what's your shopping list?
It used to be a lot longer, I think, than what it is now.
I just want to be happy. I don't know if...
I want to be happy, yes,
Yeah.
but I want to. So I keep on reading up about like being in your feminine and being in your masculine energy and that kind of stuff. And my whole idea and concept is that I want to be with a man that is so wonderfully confident within his masculine that it allows me to be within my feminine. So I want to be gentler and softer and be okay when you take the drink out of my fridge. Because you make me feel safe and secure and desired.
Yeah.
I want to be safe, secured, desired, and then amused. Amuse me. Do things.
Dance, puppy, dance.
Exactly.
So you're looking for a clown? Huh?
Basically, like a
Jester,
sexy clown.
Jester.
Yeah.
Would we? Yeah.
But like, no, seriously. So it used to be, you know, and he must be this tall and he must look like this and he must do X, Y, and Z. And
That shopping list, unfortunately for me, the requirement is that a man needs to be tall. Now, you're not, I'm tall.
yes.
So my problem is that I meet guys and they are perfect on paper and they are awesome and they're funny and we communicate and you stand up and they're shorter than you. I don't have an issue with it. Unfortunately,
They do.
a lot of men do.
Yeah.
A lot of men have got that Napoleon complex.
Yeah.
And they don't like a tall woman. And it's very difficult. It's very difficult to appease a man's shopping list more than it is. I mean, for me, the physical attributes are irrespective. Listen, if you've got a beard and tattoo, pull in. And if you're bald, that makes it even better. You know?
So there you have it, guys. Bald, beard, tattoo, balloon.
Yeah, my previous boyfriend was a skinny, tall Afrikaner with hair and hated a beard. But, you know, but our attraction was there. So it's not a prerequisite.
You see, I do think, though, having worked with and working with men, the men that I work with will tell me that the height thing is not from the men's side. It's from the woman's side. And that a lot of women, and I sometimes see it as well. So when I look at my friends who are on dating sites and I look at their what's name, and a lot of women in their profile will
tall.
say
They're
he must be
specific,
tall.
yeah.
So, and once again, it's a situation where you kind of go to yourself, this person can't help how tall they are.
Yeah.
They're amazing. They're incredible. I get it because there's also a primal thing where women are like, I just want to feel safe and enveloped. And that's where that comes from. But this person can't choose that. And it's so then it makes me go, if a guy goes, I want big titties, do we then have a right to go, you can't say that?
Yeah, true.
We don't then.
But you
Where's
see,
the
there's
boundary?
certain,
Thank you. We can't then.
There's
be
certain
all-
attributes that obviously you can see. That, I mean, you know, where you're talking about your communication, that's all internal.
Yeah.
Physically, you can see that, you know, I've got long blonde hair, I have big boobs, I have, 3 feet, I have whatever it is. Those are things you can actually physically see. So, yes, if you kind of out somewhere and you look and you go, I think he looks nice, he's attractive. But then he opens his mouth and I'm like, yo, okay, walk away.
Wow. Okay. So that was very telling. I think firstly for me, what was very telling about this whole conversation is communication. Men and women communicate so differently. Like we're all in our words and in our feels, I think. And men apparently need more than that. They need more words. They need things to be simplified for them even more. Which, thinking about it now, I completely get is annoying. But if it is the way that it is, shouldn't we just stop fighting it and possibly just do it? I'm not saying, put yourself on the back foot in the process, but if that is what your partner needs, is it really such a labor of love to maybe just give them what they need? And unfortunately, I've also realized that there are things that both men and women do that will annoy each other. I mean, men more than women, I'm kidding. But they will annoy you. And you're just going to have to deal with it. Yeah. This is sounding more and more like work to me, to be honest with you. But I keep pushing because he's out there. Okay, that's it for today's episode. Wow, why am I shouting at you? I'm so sorry. That's it for today's episode. Listen, where do you find this? JacarandFM.com, under Jackpot, or wherever you get your podcasts. If you've missed it, go and listen to the first episode. It's also really good. It's with me and my bestie Stacey. Okay, love you, bye.